Hello guys and welcome here. My name is Yassine and welcome back to another of my courses. So before we even start, I'd like to thank you all for joining my course. It's gonna be an honor for me to teach you about JavaScript. So for those of you who don't know me, basically I'm a programmer. I program various programming languages, and this course will mainly be about JavaScript. So once again, before I even start, I'd like to thank you all for being here. It's gonna be an honor for me to be able to teach you about this amazing programming language. So we're going to have a lot of fun, actually practicing everything around it. So basically, let's start. So what is the goal of this course? So this, first of all, this class will be a simple introduction to the topic. So we'll just talk about the class in general. So my goal here is, first of all, help you understand what exactly is JavaScript or programming and how it works. So how exactly we will be able to do this? So it's pretty simple. We are going to actually cover we're going to cover all the theory around JavaScript. And when it's all done, we're going to do absolutely everything. So really from the starting point, which is actually downloading all the applications that you need to be able to work with JavaScript. And when it's all done, we're going to talk about the theory and actually starting out with basic lines of code. So writing down basic lines of code, which are usually, by default, it's simply writing down hello world. So we're going to do this and then do some more advanced things. So we'll start slowly. For those of you who don't know how to program, and gradually go, make it a little bit more and more complicated. So what will you be able to, what exactly you will learn? So you will learn how to create basic applications with JavaScript. So this course is actually made on a concept of learning by practice, as well as all of my courses. So I really try to practice a lot with you guys. So we're going to do a lot of exercises, a lot of small projects. So you'll see it's going to be pretty interesting. So you'll be able to modify those projects and create, the projects that you guys want when the course will be over. So my goal here is really to teach you the basics of this amazing programming language. And once you know all the basics, this way you will be able to create your own programs with the use of JavaScript. So once again, remember, you're not going to be a professional just after one course, but you will actually have a really strong basis, and it's going to be a really good starting point for you guys to start creating your own project. So you'll understand how to work with the basics and more advanced, with basic and more advanced JavaScript features. So as I said a little bit earlier, we're going to start with really the basics. So writing down basic lines of code, downloading all these softwares, that at first, then writing down your first lines of code. And then starting to do some more complex things. So we're going to see, different variables, different data types. We're going to talk about how to create basic apps. We're going to talk about how to create basic calculations, how to create basic applications with the use of various functions and the use of various statements, for example. So we're going to combine pretty much all this together, and you'll understand how all this works, how programming works in general. So what will you be able to do by the end of this course? So you will be able to write and understand lines of code to perform various tasks. So actually, the first thing that you will be able to do is actually understanding how to write lines of code. So not only you'll be able to write down your own lines of code, but you will be able to read the code that other people have written. So once again, we're not talking here about really complex codes that imply the use of many programming languages. We're talking here about lines of code that are not that complicated to understand. So you'll be able to read lines of code. Of course, it's gonna take you practice to become good at it and really become a good programmer. But you will be able to read basic lines of code, understand them, and actually write your own lines of code and modify them. So you'll be able to use JavaScript programming efficiently. So instead of writing something in 10 lines, you'll be able to write it in 2-3 lines. So for those of you who don't know, when you want to perform a task in programming, you can perform it in a lot of ways. So a basic example, for example, you can write down 10, you can write down 5 plus 5, you can write down 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, if you understand what I'm trying to mean by that. So to have one result, you can have a lot of roads to that result. And my goal here is really to help you program in an efficient way. In other words, so instead of writing down 10 lines of code, you will write down 2 or 3. You will learn different tips and tricks in order to be a better JavaScript programmer. So I'm going to talk about some of my personal tips and tricks. We're going to, well, all the practice that you guys will have, you will develop your own tips, you will develop your own little tricks to be able to write down your own lines of code. And with that, you'll become simply a better programmer. So until now, you guys understand pretty much what this course is all about. So you'll see it's going to be pretty fun. JavaScript is a pretty interesting programming language. You can do a lot of really interesting things with this programming language, so we'll see it in the next few classes. And besides of that, I just hope that you will enjoy the course in general, and you'll enjoy its content, and finally that you will be able to finish this course by learning something new and valuable to your life. So let's start.